In the studio, I've got over here two gentlemen who are going to help me with the conversation, so we get to understand better what this entire situation looks like. So let me welcome them here in the studio. Mr. Frederick Opoku Blaze Akom is the Secretary General, National Tenant Union of Ghana, and he's going to help us with the conversation this morning here on the show. And also have over here Honorable Davidt.d.D. Vondee, MP for Chufo, T. Mokwa, member, Works and Housing Committee, also joining us this morning. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Great. I'll start from you, Mr. Akom. Now, Mr. Opoku, please forgive me. What does this mean to you, seeing, place like what we have going the way it's going right now?
First of all, let me thank you for this opportunity. And once again, Prime TV has been very helpful to the Tenant Union of Ghana to enable us to espouse and to also make our point clear. Actually, I would say that on behalf of tenants, numbering over 18 million in this country, we are so much disappointed and very disappointed in the government of Nana Akufo-Addo and the leadership of Mr. Senso-Boakye on the 13th of November when he was so bold enough to come out to say that, okay, government has actually rescinded the law, have taken the decision to actually give this one to a private developer. This is a setback seriously, a setback in the sense that a situation where we are in a hardship, everybody's going through hardship, the challenges of housing and where people have to lay their heads is becoming a bigger challenge. And government still don't see the need to, look at affordability of housing and has taken such a giant move, which in any way we say that it is not in order. I think they can do better. So they can revise their notes and ensure that they continue to complete this affordable housing at its original state. And for us, if Mr. Senso-Boakye comes to say that government wouldn't be able to get $46 million to do this, it's an eyesore, it's insulting, and for that matter, it's like attack to the integrity of Ghanaian and those the grassroots. You're talking about a situation whereby government needs to fix electricity, water, and drains. I'm aware, or we are aware, that the government should have done this earlier as part of the servicing of the land. They were supposed to provide electricity, water.
As in the NDC?
Yes, of course. Government is government. NDC government should have done this before they started. Because of that, they are claiming that they used some portion of the monies, $200 million, to do that. That's why they couldn't produce the 200,000 housing units. So, if just to fix water and electricity, you want to give it to a private individual, it's not that. We have stated in our response to the minister on 15th of November, after he came to deliver his statements to Ghanaians, that we are so much disappointed in him. We think that he must have a direction, he must come out with policies, and also ensure that the national housing policy, which came into being 2015 under NDC, is not abandoned, and that they must work and ensure that the right things are done. So we are saying that they must fix get the 46 million. My brother, if you care to know, last year, April 27th, 2021, Minister Senso-Boakye came out with a same press statement that we needed 32 million United States dollars to get this completed. 1.5 years later, he comes back to tell us that we need $46 million to complete. We have a difference of $40 million US. We have put a lot of things on the table after we heard him speak. One, we are petitioning the Parliamentary Select Committee on Parliament. Maybe next week, we are seeking the petition of Ghanaians to stop this government and to drop their intention to give to a private developer. Two, we are suing the government on financial loss to the state of $40 million United States dollars because it is
the difference
because of their recklessness and carelessness that has resulted in the $40 million. And you cannot suppose to say, oh, some people have caused malfeasance and you have taken them to court and you have abandoned the project for the past 6 years, and you come back to tell us after 6 years you never touch it, it has rotten more. What came about with the difference of 40 million is because you neglected it, and that you can't go scot-free because you're a government. We must sue government. Government must be seen as not so passionate about housing, and that we must stop. And President Akufo-Addo need to understand that the people that he is governing are suffering. Housing, Abraham Maslow says, is very prime, it's physiological, and that he must fix it. If you can't put a place for your people to sleep, then you have a problem as a president.
Okay. Now, Honorable, How did we get here?
First of all, let me say good morning to you again, and a good morning to our viewers, especially the people in my constituency, Chufu. It's in the central region. I just want to say good morning to all the NDC executives who are really watching us this morning. How did we get here? We got here by decision, deliberate decision made by government that beautiful edifice, housing that is built by their predecessors, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, they were not going to attend to it, and they are going to run it down, and to be able to buy it, if you like, maybe sell it to their own. Maybe that is why we're here. My brother was there yesterday, and it was really a very terrible scene.
Yeah.
This is the most horrible, absolutely horrible, deliberate decision that I have seen about housing in our country. You know, you get there, and first of all, let me be careful not to prejudice the discussion, because this month's portions of it is in court, and so let me not prejudice the discussion.
Yeah.
But you get to SAGLEMI housing, and you see a very beautiful houses, and that are built throughout with concrete. And these are concrete houses. The fittings, the doors, the windows, the electrical wiring and everything were done. This is a project where the road networks were absolutely fixed. This is a project where electricity, street bulbs, street lights, everything was fixed. This is a project where kitchen cabinets and everything were fixed. This is a project where everybody at all could pick bag and walk in and live in. This is a project that is well structured, very serene environment. I have not seen it kind in Ghana. This is a project that 1,508, okay, is completed and is habitable. This is a project that every individual who live in there will feel well accommodated. This is the kind of project we're talking about. And this is the kind of project that Ghanaian payers' money was spent on. This is a project that was properly built, absolutely built for Ghanaians.
So what's the minus?
Now, the fact is
difficult for even a government to understand that of all the things you have said, this is the only thing we can do to make it accessible, and we're not doing it.
Now, the project got to a state where a decision should be made for individuals, Ghanaians, to move in and live in. Then government changed, and the current government decided to leave the project to rot and to make it look very terrible. When we met the Works and Housing Minister, of course, Asensu is a very good friend of mine, and I mean, we really are good friends. So when I'm talking about him, I got to be very careful, not personally, but the projects. And when we met him, one of the things that he said that struck me was that this was a failed project.
That's what the minister said.
And I failed to understand how a building that is not deteriorated, a building that when we went there was no one crack in the building. I don't know how a building that roads were constructed, electricity, power, everything around, where human can habit in, human can live in, is being described as a failed project. Now, what we saw was that it looks like a deliberate orchestration, an organized crime where individuals got there, remove all the windows, throw them out, cut all the electrical wires, all the fittings were removed. The place was left to grow weeds, only because somebody want to hang a dog and call it a bad dog. Point I'm making is that these things that we're seeing are really bad for our economy. We're spending over almost $200 million to provide this kind of housing facilities for Ghanaians, to a stage where Ghanaians can move in and live in. And let's not forget that the purpose, the intent, the vision that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama realized in building these houses is to get it for workers of government and individuals, you and I, who cannot afford a $300,000, a $200,000 houses. And it will amaze you to know that the selling price, the proposition from the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom housing unit is about $29,000. Let's not forget that when these decisions were made, the dollar was around 3.9 Ghana cedis to a dollar. And so if you're doing $29,000, that tells you that an individual, an ordinary worker, a social worker, a civilian should be able to go in there. And that is the affordability. What is affordability? When over time, 40% of your salary can pay for that house, it should be affordable. And that was the intent. That was the vision. Absolutely noble one. What did we do? Over the 6 years on, this government, a project that Honorable Atachia, described in 2017 as one of the finest projects, one of the finest housing unit. Today, this same project has become a monster under their wash. Okay? And they call it a failed project. And they've made a decision to sell the project to an individual, a private developer. But that's the point we are talking about. Yeah, that's what we are saying.
On that side, don't you think that government thinks that a private or an individual or a developer will be able to fix all the things that we are not able to fix now, just so you'll be able to also lease that to individuals, maybe make it affordable, because there may be terms that would ensure that, the prices that will be on these houses will not be that expensive for the ordinary Ghanaian to afford.
So are you not surprised to even think that way? That a project that is fully done, completed, that the government took over and left it to rot for 6 years. And if you go there, the feeling you get that there is a deliberate distraction that is caused to the project only because a private investor should have a muscle bigger than government to complete it and give it to Ghanaians affordable. In any case, when you mention a private investor, I'm a developer myself. Are you saying that a private investor, because when you read the contract, it is specifically stated in the contract that this project was meant to be affordable to Ghanaian workers, okay? And then a private person who is also looking for his money come to perfect the project and is going to sell it to Ghanaians more, affordable than Ghana government? Is that what we are saying? Listen, the cost of developing this project is not supposed to be, covered and make profits. When you read the contract, it says that the pricing of the project is to break even and not to make profit. Because this is social housing. Why wouldn't we be able to give this project to, say, SNITs? To go ahead and manage, contribute, to manage and make sure that we get same value, same reason, same vision, intent, absolutely intent. That these houses are provided.
The issue,
but the point is, let's sell it out.
Yeah, but Honorable, the issue has always been the fact that we've not been able to, as it were, make government after government understand that projects that have been started by one government and being taken over by another government is supposed to be ensured that it's completed.
No.
That's where we are. That's where we are right now.
That is not where we are.
That's where we are right now, because the same issue. There has been issues of forced affordable housing.
Exactly where I was going.
What happened to it?
Because when we took over as Ghanaians, we realized that the taxpayers' money was used. So when you go to Abokobi, for example, those projects that we inherited, we completed the project. As I speak to you now, this project is viable. Ghanaians are living in. President Kufuor's project, for example, housing, we completed those projects and we make sure we didn't sell it out. If you like, tell me one project, affordable housing project, that the NDC inherited and sold it out. That is not there. It never exists. The point I'm making to you is that these guys are money hungry.
You mean the NPP?
Absolutely, and they would want to sell anything they lay hands on. And I'll give you a typical example. In Ghana, from 2017 till now, if you look at our revenue and the borrowing, of course, the finance minister himself admitted that he had borrowed more than 450 billion Ghana cedis within the space of 6 years. Now, if you look at our borrowing and you look at our revenues that are collected and so forth and so on, you know, you're looking around $85 billion. My brother, this small country, Ghana, I ask you a question. Where is that money? And the infrastructure for you to point at, to say that these are the things that we invested these monies into, but rather the things that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama built, the houses that we built. Look at me. Take a glance, okay? Go through Malata Market. Go to Agbogloshi. Go to Makola. And look at the devastating nature of citizenry when it rains, where they sleep, okay? This is the vision, this is the thought, that let's provide affordable housing to house our people. You come to government, describe the project as the most viable project you've seen, Atachia.
But most of these things have been seen. We've seen other governments.
We've
seen the NDC.
Now, what you're saying now is that this same project is a monster. I mean, with the greatest of respect.
And the problem
it doesn't sit well with anybody.
Yes, but the problem has always been that we've seen other projects, we've seen other things that have been done with other governments being in power and neglecting the other ones that the predecessors have actually, you know, started. This is not the first time that we're having this conversation, and that's the reason why I want us to understand that it's important for us to acknowledge that we have not had a proper system that we're running as a country when it comes to government and successive governments taking projects up. And that is the reason why we're where we are right now.
You see, the spirit of continuity in governance resonates with the NDC. And we see that as one of the things that we can do in order to make sure this country progress properly. And that is why, like I was saying to you, we never sell. We never had the thought of selling government assets.
It's not about selling.
For example.
It's not about the thought of selling.
For example.
This is where we've got into right now. And that's why you're making that example. I'm saying that there are other key or important projects that have been started by governments before that governments who took over have not done so. And that's our biggest problem right now.
Of course, I mean, that is the biggest problem. But the point is, where do we move
And that's what I want us to acknowledge, that we've seen this before.
You know,
it's not the first time we're having this conversation.
You know, it is a canker.
So let's address that.
I agree with you, it's a canker. And like I said, that you would want to look at it and progress. That in as much as that is the feeling, that is what happened, that okay, let me not complete it so that the previous government who started it will get the credit, you know, for electoral purposes, for political purpose, which of course for me is not a very good thing to do. I agree with you in absolute, okay? But the point I'm making is that where are we now? Where we are now is that the government that has borrowed more than any government in the history of Ghana, and who've gotten too much money from the oil revenues and so forth and so on, is not able to add one unit of housing into a housing, you know, a problem to solve the housing problem. But the most annoying, if you like, disappointing point is that this same government is selling out the little that we have.
Mr. Boko,
that's the point I'm making, and it's worrying. I'm saying to you that there is a deliberate distraction caused to the property so that the price comes down, then people buy it. I was there. If you were there, you will feel the kind of feeling I'm feeling.
Mr. Boko, let me find out from you. Now, you represent tenants here in the country. This is a very big issue right now. What are you going to do about it?
Certainly.
Apart from the fact that you have decided that, oh, we're going to write to governments, if it doesn't happen, if we sell this right now, what's going to be your stand?
Certainly. Let me acknowledge the fact that the situation is bad once again, and both NDC and MPP have failed the states. don't want Honorable to suppose that they are saints. Both NDC and MPP have failed the states. So I don't want to be hearing Honorable being so strong. No. Today it is MPP. Tomorrow they have done it, and they have also messed up big time. That led to President Mahama even be removed. The same issue. So I don't want Honorable to stay put and also be making it as if we are in safe havens in their hands. No, both of them have failed the nation. Now, what the tenant, of course, I'm so passionate about this issue because I'm representing 18 million people, having more than the people who vote John Dramani Mahama or Akufo-Addo or whoever comes in. So we are talking about the masses and the people who have suffered in the hands of these two political parties, who have failed and woefully failed the states, and they must acknowledge that. Now, we are saying that it is not tenable for government to make an attempt to give it to a private developer. First of all, we have responded to them, and we are not going to behave like other people the way they become so angry and they want to jump to the streets anyhow. The Constitution of the Republic of Ghana gives us the rights and the privileges to take laudable and legal steps to stop President Akufo-Addo and his government. We are not so much moved about NDC's position and using it as politics, and they are politicians.
No, the NDC stands with you because they
for this time, I'm talking. I don't want to be involved in this politics. And Honorable is a politician, so he must stay put in his politics. But I'm talking about.
Yeah, but apart from the fact that you think that they are doing so because they've also been in the same position before, they seem to also disagree with the government's intentions.
That is what we like. That's why we are about to petition them. As I speak with you now, I know we are collecting some signatures from Ghanaians to petition the select committee, which Honorable is there.
I know,
of course. Yeah. And that's what this time the Tenant Union of Ghana is using pragmatic steps, legal steps to stop the government, not just the normal things of going to the street and jumping. Then when we submit the proposal for them to now take it to Parliament, so they will take it to the plenary, and at times to report that Ghanaians are saying that they disagree with government's position. In this case, we are in line with an agreement with the select committee, the minority side, that they must stop government and we must stop government. So it's a clarion call that they took a step to go there yesterday, and I'm surprised that the majority didn't go. And I'm seeing the committee members, only minority.
But that was expected, right?
That is bad. That is bad. And if the Ghanaians and constituents in their constituencies to watch those MPP parliamentarians who are part of the select committee and the majority side, that they are failed people because the government processes, they don't look at the people. But it's not by MPP, it's not by NDC. If it's about housing, it's about the people. And that these MPs who sit on the majority side of government must understand that MPP is not NDC position now. It's not about their self-interest. But they think that an affordable housing is there. Government should find ways and means to secure 46 million United States dollars. Yesterday I heard the ranking member said that as we speak today, my brother, government is about seeking 500 million United States dollars to invest into something. Does it mean that the housing or SAGLEMI is not in order, and that just 46 million, a minister of state who has not initiated any processes to build this affordable or to invest? Now the proceeds she's talking about. If you sell the product, the houses, then the proceed, which affordable housing are you going to invest in? Since you came 6 years, have you started something that you want to invest the proceeds? So it means that it's for their personal gains. That's come to the topic. If it's not for their personal gains, why would you want to? You came. You didn't start anything. You have done nothing. You don't have a direction. You don't have a focus as a government in terms of housing. Then you say that I want to sell what somebody did sometime. Sell it and give it to a private. Don't you have State Housing Corporation? Don't you have TDC? So what prompted cabinet, if indeed it is President Akufo-Addo's decision, what prompted the president that he wake up one day from his bed, jump and say that I, President Akufo-Addo, this is what I think because I have the resources to do this.
Mr. Boku, it's been clear 6 years.
Yes.
In fact, you and the minority, you as the secretary for the tenants and the minority, it's been 6 years now. We've never seen you guys being so agitated until the president decides that now I want to sell the place, and that's where you come out and visibly let people understand
for the past
that this is
6 years. If Honorable Atachian is listening to me, We have engaged them, and I said tenant union is not like any other group that jump to street and be making noise. Issues of housing is a systemic issue.
But is the reason why where we are
That's
right now? Because maybe your the way you express your anger is
we engaged them, and I told them that SAGLEMI, I've wanted it to Honorable Asasubuachi. On 31st of August, we met him with the leadership of the union, and I've told this minister that if he dares come out with any statement, he will see the wrath of Ghanaians, and I'm going to push Ghanaians out to the street, and we are going to have 1 year demonstration against MPP government and take MPP government to opposition.
This was when?
That was 31st August. This year.
This year?
I've told him, and he was too bold enough.
That was before the pronouncement, or it was before? After?
Before, almost August. It came November. Okay. So I'm talking about Asasubuachi as a minister, and President Akufo-Addo said that, okay, they are in realms of government, and we are the people. We are 80 million, and we are stopping the government. We aren't going to cajole. We are not going to tickle them. We are not going to beg them. They must understand that Ghanaians are suffering, and they must act and do what is needful. They were brought in to fix problems. Forget about what MPP and NDC did. They have been booted out. You are in government 6 years. You have messed up in housing. You didn't put in a structure. You cannot make an attempt going straight to say, I'm going to sell. Government must desist immediately, before if tenant union or the tenant want to across the country monthly from January, we have given 2 months in our response. We have given government 2 months beginning 15th January. If government does not rescind it and so mad boldly go ahead with this, what will be seen in this country have never been seen. You should understand. It's not going to be like one day demonstration where people wear red and black themselves with red, just gallivanting on the streets and go. We are having a whole 1 year. Every month we move from every region until we see MPP government booted. And that MPP should advise the president that he's digging the grave for the future of the party. And NDC will take advantage of the ills and the indecisions of the president, and the indecisions and no direction of Mr. Asasubuachi. They are digging the grave of MPP, and I'm sad to see the way, the antics that they are playing, that they are digging and they are damaging their own party, and that is very unfortunate, because yes, you know, their forefathers have fought for them before President Akufo-Addo came. He has not been a listening president, and he must listen to the people. Tenants are the grassroots. It's what the biggest association in Ghana. Whether you were a lawyer, you were a doctor, some of the MPs have offices that they have rented, they are all tenants. So the tenant association is not teachers association. It's not doctor association. The biggest, where is the subset? All of them are involved. So if you talk about it, you go to Makola, people who have their buildings here and there, they are renting at Makola. So the tenant union is signaling the government, if they dare move, it's going to be dangerous, and that we won't miss word. Even SAGLEMI, we will make an attempt that government would, but we'll still engage them.
Okay. So you were looking at the legal aspect of it. You rightly mentioned that you're going to make sure that you push the legal aspect of it. And if it doesn't, I think
we've consulted our lawyers, yesterday, and that we are suing for financial loss to the states, and that we are saying that the matter is in courts, which we don't want to touch. That people have caused malfeasance. If it is so, it must be punished. That is why we are surprised that if we have two different issues, people supposed to have built this X amount of housing units, they did not. You have taken them to court. Why did you abandon that project for 6 years? Let it get rotten for almost 6 years. Then come back later after being rotten, say, I'm going to sell. If you are not to sell and share for yourselves, then what is actually your mindset? Government of Akufo-Addo is becoming unlistened, and it is unfair to Ghanaians. Now, the tenant union, through me, advocates for 80 million people, are saying that the president must stop this. Cabinet, how many are they? They talk about cabinet. How many are they? How many
you have more numbers that they
do. What is cabinet? How many people voted for President Akufo-Addo? 6 million. We are talking about 80 million. So the fact that we are giving you the power as a president does not warrant you and give you the power to sleep and come overnight and be spewing sentences that will make people and bring a mouth of hardship to Ghanaians. I'm talking passionately because people are dying because of housing. People are going to a bank to borrow money. They are being incarcerated. They can't what about the financial obligations? And the president cannot be killing its own people and seem as if he is governing. How much has the government spent in education? I told you that Abraham also have said it, that basic needs like shelter, you cannot deal with education if you don't have a place to sleep. Egypt president, Morsi, president of Egypt, he recently built 1 million houses. He came the same day with President Akufo-Addo. 1 million go to Egypt on record. Maybe if what are you talking about?
Honorable.
So they are not really.
See, you are on the committee now. Where have we got into right now in terms of how we're going to go about this, and also what's the NDC's position in terms of making sure that this does not happen? Apart from the verbal pronouncement that we've heard, what exactly are we doing on grounds to ensure that the sale of this project does not happen?
Well, I mean, one of the things that we sought to do, and we're doing, is first of all the visit to the place and to get the Ghanaians people to see what exactly is on the ground. You know, it's one of the major things we've done, and we all saw what's on the ground. It's not as if it's a hopeless situation. Government can still continue to get this project to kind of help Ghanaians. Number two, we'll continue to engage, you know, the Minister of Works and Housing, my very brothers, and so we'll continue to engage with them, and the majority side, we'll continue to engage government and hope and pray that our you know, plea and opinions are actually respected, as major Ghanaians will also, majority of Ghanaians will agree with us. But let me correct one very important notion created by my very good friend. There can never be same ideology and same practices and same performance of NDC and the MPP. It cannot happen. Okay, as we speak now, we have two choices to make in 2024. The choices are to buy petrol at 14 cedis or to buy it at 100 cedis. To get $3.9 cedis or to get it at 15 cedis.
That is the promise the NDC is coming up with?
Hold on.
What exactly is that?
I'm saying that we've been there before. When we were there, these are the things we saw. And we were called monsters. We were called people who cannot rule Ghana. We were called wicked people, incompetent. The incompetent government, petrol, was 14 Ghana cities.
That's at the time we were not going through the hardship, global hardship we're going through. The global hardship we're all going through right now.
Listen to me.
Would you have managed things differently if we're in power now?
COVID.
And in the midst of all the global hardship everybody's going through, would you have managed things differently?
COVID. You know what? COVID is a blessing to His Excellency Danado Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his people more than a curse. And I'll tell you the reason. Since Ghana started going to IMF, okay, from the time immemorial to today, we've made $1.95 billion, $1.98 billion from IMF program. Now, 2000 to 2002, okay, from 2020 to 2022, these 2 years, okay, the COVID relief that government benefited from IMF is $2.45 billion. Listen to me. Where is the money? In any case, what did we use those monies from? PPEs? Cook rice for people to eat because they need to sit in our home.
Is all this not coming up because
so
of
the point I'm making, hold on.
People speak
the point
much better when they're in opposition
no, the
than
point
when they're
I'm
in
making
power.
to you,
So,
the point I'm making to you is that if people, you know, begin to make COVID as a reason they are not able to run this economy, it's a joke, because the COVID brought them too much money. $2.4 billion. I mean, come on. And then you go ahead to blame COVID. You know, in 2019, the dollar to a cedi was more than 8 cedis. Okay, they pick it from 3.9. And so if you come and sit here and say Ukraine, Russia, what that started about 4 or 5 months ago is the reason we're here, then I ask you one question. To show me in Ghana where one bomb landed. From Russia.
The bomb doesn't necessarily have
from Ukraine.
For the people to feel
the point I made, for example, number two.
I mean, globally it's accepted that most countries are going through the same thing.
We have crude oil in Ghana. What stops Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo from refining our crude at our refinery? You run the refinery down. I mean, it's listen, you need to reason around and find decisions. The reason we give all of them the comfort and so forth and so on is that we expect them to think, to reason extraordinarily more than the normal individual, normal Ghanaian, to find solution. If fuel price abroad is galloping, which of course I disagree. And the reason why our fuel should be selling at 100 Ghana cedis and above, you have crude. Why don't you refine it? Listen, there is no amount of dollar that we're going to import into this country that is going to solve the economic problems of Ghana. That is not going to happen, and I'll tell you why. All the big shops that we have in Ghana, for example, are shops that are owned by foreigners, the Lebanese, the Chinese, the Indians, and so forth and so on. And so the more you go bring dollar into this country, when they sell, they repatriate the dollar back.
Which of course have been made possible by governments, which I'm sure NDC has also done the same thing.
That is cosmetic.
Because we don't have systems that will make sure that some of these things are checked. You're talking about repatriation and they take the monies back. Whose responsibility is that?
So listen,
and this is not just NPP.
So listen,
this is something that has been under NDC. It's been under NPP. We've seen some of these things happen.
The point is that
government after government.
That comparison.
Are you not in a position to also accept for the fact that you've made the same mistakes?
That comparison, with the greatest of respect, may not be tenable, because if we were doing too well, judged by Ghanaians, we wouldn't be in opposition today. And so if we are out of government because they felt we're not doing some of those things. I remember when market women and shop operators were fighting us that we've allowed retailing businesses be done by, foreigners and so forth. So you remember those days when we were chased all around and Guta and what have you. They were making all the pronouncements and all that. What stops Ghanaians from doing the same thing to?
We've seen them do that. I mean, they close shops.
So the point I'm making to you,
recently shops were
I live on the Spintex Road. Okay, that's where my house is. Now, if you see the development, the shops and the stores, okay, that are springing up, that are run there, are for Lebanese, Chinese, and so forth and so on. The point I'm making to you is that when you bring the dollar sitting down will finish, because precept upon precept, you build it out. Point is, if you want the economy to grow, to sustain, if you want the city to be strong, number one, let us refine the oil we have. Number two, you see Aveima, right?
Yeah, Aveima, yeah.
Okay. That land there, that facility, okay, when we grow rice, we'll be able to feed Ghana, feed West Africa, and even Africa. Okay, do you know what we're doing now? We decide to leave it to rot, right? And allow people to import rice, because those who are importing the rice are party apparatchiks, okay? People who sponsor the party and they will access.
And it still boils down
to
the same
another
issue.
Point. Let me tell you another thing.
Because you see, the point is,
let me tell you another thing.
If we have been able to, as it were, put structures to ensure that governments after governments are all in connection. I'm sure this advice you're putting out there right now
would have been
accepted by the NPP.
You see,
but because we politicize almost everything, which of course you're also part of it.
The
NDC is part of it. That is the reason why where we are right now. Because this idea you're sharing, I'm not sure NPP does not know this.
Now the point I'm making is
they know the importance of what you're sharing right now.
The point I'm making is
so we have a problem, and the basic problem is what we're supposed to be looking at.
The point I'm making is this.
So we don't politicize almost everything.
So the point I'm making is this. If we can grow chicken, for example, in this country, and stop the importation of chicken into this country, rice and chicken alone will strengthen our city. And you know that, I also know that. The NDC is aware of that, the NPP is aware of that.
So what's the problem?
So
why is it that the NPP is also seeing what the NDC and myself are seeing?
The point is this.
You all created this.
Until we begin to make a decision that is Ghanaian in color, that is not an individual pocket
absolutely
reaching, that is not to enrich some families and to make some individuals rich. Can you imagine? Why do we even think about selling SAGLEMI housing?
Mr. Poku, then again, it comes back to your biggest issue.
So the point is, there is no reason for us to even think of selling housing when Egypt is building a 1 million housing unit within 6 years, and we are building, we've not built anything within the 6 years, and the little that somebody has built, point is that let's run it down and sell it out. I feel that is not fair.
Mr. Boku, let me come to you.
That's not fair at all.
I mean, chances are that we may sell it or may not sell it. I don't know what is going to stop it, but you in your position right now, I'm sure there are too many things that is going through your mind right now. What's the first thing that you want done by the NDC?
Legally, I think we are going to petition the select committee, which they are part of, legally. And I think all issues with respect to housing should be channeled to the committee.
The committee, yeah.
First of all, that's legally. They are the people's representative. They are our representatives. So it's better we use that medium.
But do you believe in the committee and what they stand for?
Look, we thank God that today they are divided. That is where we are going to take advantage of the NDC and MPP. Whenever it comes to their benefit, they are one. When they are getting their Land Cruisers, they are one. When they are approving big monies, they are one. When it comes to issues of politics, they are divided. So I'm happy that today.
And it's mentioned Mr. Senso as a brother over.
I said they are one because they are one. So if you fight over them, you are messing up. But I'm happy God being so good. They are taking political advantage of the situation and have visited SAGLEMI, and that we thank God that today they are divided, and that will give us a good position, and that we are now going to dine with the select committee minority, and maybe I would say we are sending it to the chairman, Mr. Asiama, who is the chairman of the committee. Very soon they will receive it, and today I'm going to have a good rapport after here with my senior landed colleague, and who is our MP. That we're going to work with them, and that maybe before I even bring the petition, the discussion was.
Oh, you have the petition with you here?
No. It will go formally, and Ghanaians and media will know the steps that they're trying to do, and if it reaches them, and they want to sweep it under the carpet, or if they intend to change their mind, like what we are seeing with the Ofurate situation, where now they are imbalanced, whether they are supporting the minority. And because they have been called by the president, and that's how cheap our politicians are becoming of late. And
as it stands now, it looks like the minister will have the audience.
I say that's how we have been so cheap. We have been so cheap when politicians or parliamentarians who have been elected by the people are so cheap, and they want to kowtow to the president. One person who said that move here and give them monies possibly, and they want to join and change their minds. That is bad. And Ghanaians are going to punish them if they dare move that direction that I'm signaling to the MPP majority. Their stance is clear. We have admitted it. We have taken the good faith. If they dare tweak to the president's stance, because the president will always want to have his way as one person in this country who thinks that somebody is messing up in this country and that Ofurata must be there. That is his interest, his personal interest, the president, that somebody is wrecking the nation, and the president said that's what I like. That is personality, and that is bad. And that if the majority goes ahead to support, they will punish them and they will all lose their seats. I'm telling you, and maybe NDC will carry the day.
Do you think you have the full support of the Ghanaians in this cause?
Exactly. So if I want to put my numbers here, maybe before I get home, my numbers, my phone will be, bloated with something. But I know that issues of housing, it's not about MPP, it's not about NDC. We must be clear in our minds that when you talk about where to lay your head, if you are MPP and you are hearing me today, don't see me to be an antagonist of the party or MPP. I am indeed an MPP fanatic. Let me be very clear here in my mind. Of course. But that is, I won't lie to you. But for me...
You voted for the MPP?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Why would I hide it? I am. But
are you disappointed? Okay, disappointed.
I'm disappointed in the president. I'm disappointed in their policies. I'm disappointed in everything. Me being MPP or me tilting to MPP or having that passion for MPP, that's when they are doing the wrongs. I'm representing here today with this my attire as the tenant union and the people. Patriotism and nationalism is what you're talking about.
What you have seen.
That's why I hope tomorrow they should look at the people first, not their personal aggrandizement.
From what you have seen, would you vote for NDC 2024?
Last year we considered the manifesto in MPP and NDC, honestly, and we realized that they wanted to do this affordable scheme, rent assistance, which was good. We say it's good. They say they want to review the rent law.
So everything
rent law. Then the National Housing Authority. And that was a good we have been asking for the past 10 years. So when MPP indicated, we say we are blessed. We organized a press conference that, looking at MPP manifesto and NDC in housing, we are going for. We have not we have not deceived ourselves, and we have not feared none of them to say that this policy is good, this manifesto will be good, but this time around, and this MPP has failed us, and we will still look into the manifesto of them, and we take a decision. We will take a decision on them. Whether if MPP has to go to opposition because of their recklessness, they must go.
Okay, now let me read some comments over here. And this one says, "Hi, I'm Eddie Brown watching you live from Kumasi, Kenya. Say, Ajuman. So can't we get a single person in Ghana here to fight against this government, or should take them to court? It must not make sense for allowing this government to sell properties. Oh my God, what's going on in this country? And when you voted as a president, you didn't build anything for this country. What you know is to squander Ghanaian money and sell their properties." And that's a message coming to another one over here. Says that, "Hi, good morning, sir. I want to comment on the SAGLEMI housing project. What was the total cost of completing the project? Why couldn't they finish how is needed? What is needed to complete it? I'm not backing a political party when NDC is in power. What were they using the oil refinery? If not, why?" Okay, so that's your take too on that as well. Let me see if I can have some more. This one says, "My name is Onyene Dia Clement, a teacher at Kumasi High School. I fully support the seriousness and the aggressiveness of Mr. Frederick Opoku. Both NDC and MPP have failed the Ghanaian people." And that's from Kumasi. Another one over here. Let me see if I can get that real quick, and then we'll move on. Okay, so there are a lot of messages coming through. Please do not interrupt with the calls, and let's see. Okay, so this one over here says that we will score Portugal 2-1. Okay, so 2-0.
Why
all right,
is it today?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But people they are predicting ahead of time. So yeah. But speaking of that, what's your prediction for tomorrow?
That's a very difficult one to talk about, that because I am a lover of Ghanaian football. And in as much as Barcelona is my favorite team as well.
Then you and I were
so yesterday when Argentina was
Messi,
beached, I was so embarrassed.
I didn't like that at all.
Messi, my man, I just want him to win World Cup before ending his career as a footballer. But hey, Ghanaians, I believe strongly that should be able to do something, because I watched their friendly match, the last friendly match they played
with Switzerland.
And I thought that the boys were serious, more than some of us could believe them. And so my prayer is that tomorrow should bring us all of us joy. And hey, football knows color. I mean, whether you're NDC, MPP, football brings the world together and bring all of us together. And so tomorrow I expect that the Black Stars were going to fly our colors really, really very high, and all of us are going to enjoy it. But let's be cautious with our celebrations anyway.
Mr. Boku, you have any predictions for tomorrow?
1-1.
1-1.
Yeah. 1-1 draw. That's it.
Okay, so that's going to be all about it for this morning. But I'd like to say,
quickly, as I'm here, we are forming the national movement, and people have to know where we are. So let me take the opportunity to
please go ahead.
My number there, 0244 633 447, 0244 633 447, 0261 255 255, 0261 255 255. So if we need to talk, you're a tenant, we want to open it and make it big, call me, contact us, let us go together, and let us put the government on their toes. Thank you.
Anything you want to?
Well, I just want to thank the viewers, especially people from Shifuatimokwa, for making very beautiful time to listen and view us on this platform. It is our hope and prayer that we all work together, especially to solve the canker, the housing problem of Ghana. It is not an individual issue. It's an issue where we'll have to come together to solve, because it's very, very disturbing. You know, let's try and invest in our local products and building houses. And I said some time ago that can we zone this country and give it to Greater so we can build affordable houses all around using our local products, bricks and so forth and so on, in order to be able to have a meaning to affordability. I've said this thing in Parliament many times, and I'll continue to champion it. Let's be able to get something for ourselves, and Ghanaians deserve best. I thank you so much. God bless you, my brother.
Thank you, and thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Honorable davidt.d.vondee, the Chief Atimokwa MP, and he's also a member on the Works and Housing Committee. We're hoping that some solution is actually out in a couple of days in terms of the sale of the project. And also many thanks to you, the General National Tenant Union of Ghana Secretary and person of Frederick Opoku Blaze, for joining us this morning. I appreciate your time. I'm grateful that you were able to join us this morning here on the show. Thanks so much to those of you out there who were able to tune in and your comments as well. We appreciate that you were able to also join in and share your thoughts with us. We've still got some more coming up here on the show. That's Prime Morning, and I want you to stay on.